Greetings in the name of the Most High. You done know. Welcome to It's Our Thoughts, Not Yours podcast. I am your host, OG, and you done know I'm flying solo. Might link up a little Bully and Lash Sunday, Monday, but it's been a I always say it's always a interesting week. Um this week though has been really interesting. A lot of stuff has been going on around me. Not to your boy on a personal level, but a lot of stuff has been going on around me. And I'm going to touch on those things later. But my opening monologue today is going to be about this cancer culture. And I'm going to share a personal testimony why I don't like this cancer culture. Right. And the reason why I don't like it, because your boy, I was almost canceled about a decade ago before the cancel culture really took off. Like I ran into my first Karen, so to speak. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But the reason why I want to talk about cancel culture and how we need to have discussions and not canceling one another is because I think we're on the border of insanity right now. It doesn't make any sense to me why we're canceling people because they say idiotic comments, right? It's their thoughts, whether they're racist, idiotic, dumb, whatever the case may be. I don't believe in impeding that human's right to make money because they said some dumb shit that's ignorant. Son, we need to get back to educating people and letting them know why their particular view on something is incorrect, instead of automatically going to cancel this individual. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, Dave Chappelle is a comedian. A comedian. He makes you laugh. Ha 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 ha. But Dave Chappelle is not doing anything that's new, right? Comedians always been pushing the envelope for years. Even before I was born, Dread, comedians always push the envelope on topics, whether it be social stuff, politics, sexual stuff, whatever it is. Comedians always push the envelope because they're in that space. It's a safe space for comedians because they're comedians. They're not politicians. They're not world leaders. They're not CEOs of some major corporations. These dudes grab a mic, get on stage, and make you laugh for 30 minutes to an hour. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why the alphabet community, and trust me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I do that. You just have too many letters now, and I'm an old soul. So now I'll just describe you as the alphabet community. It's easy. I don't understand why they're so upset. You're making this man's point that you don't want to have a discussion. You immediately just want to cancel him. And he's a black man. So the reason why I don't like the cancel culture was I used to work for a company called MedMetrics, right? They're no longer in existence. So I can mention their name. And they were a very small pharmacy benefits management company, right? They were a PBM. They were owned by UMass at the time. They were a little sister company of UMass. And at the time, I believe I had just became a coder, or I was in the transition of being a coder. So I think I was doing claims processing while they were training me on the side to be a coder. So in between doing claims and learning the coding stuff, back in those days, like back 10 years ago, I used to go on Facebook all the time, right? And I would be talking about whatever. So one day I was having a political discussion. I believe this is when Barack was president, right? So I was having a political discussion with some white girl online, and I don't know. She must have. I think she was a Republican. I think, yeah, I think she was a conservative, but I believe she got into her feelings because I remember vividly that I made a point and I articulated my point to where she lost her argument. So she couldn't rebuttal me on the argument. So instead, She did something that I did not expect, but again, your boy is blessed. God loves me. She called my job because back then on Facebook, I used to have that I worked for Medmetrics. So all you had to do was just Google, and then you can find the number for Medmetrics. So that's what this white girl did. Karen, we're gonna call her Karen. She was the first time I would experience somebody like a Karen. You know, when you say the white girl's cuckoo and she acts like a Karen or whatever. Well, this young white girl, she was acting like a Karen, dude. She called my job and reported me that I don't know what she told them. I forgot what nonsense she told them. But dude, this phone call got to like my director, right? So my supervisor at the time, who was my home girl, she was like, "We need to. We're about to have a meeting in the conference room, and you need to meet me in the conference room." Now, as a black man that's worked in corporate America, anytime I hear I gotta go into a meeting in a conference room, I know I'm in trouble because I did something wrong. But I didn't even know how much trouble I was in. So when she told me meet her in the conference room, I'm thinking she's just going. I don't know. I didn't even know what I was because I didn't know what I did at the time. I had no idea. But when I went into the conference room, this is what got me a little shook. The head of HR was in there, the director was in there, and my supervisor, and I believe somebody on the executive team was in there. So I was like, whoa, why is all of these bigwigs in here? Why is the head of HR in here? So instantly, as a black man, I'm thinking, ah, shit. They're about to fire a Negro, son. So I go in there and they're like, what were you doing the last like hour or so? No, I ain't lie. I was like, oh, I was on Facebook. And then they were like, were you having some type of political discussion? I'm like, they keep probing me with these questions. Then the light bulb went over my head. So I was like, yes, I was. And there was like, there's a young lady that called in here complaining about the discussion that you and her were having. But this is what I love my company, son. There's like, OG, we don't care. There's like, we don't care, but we do have a problem. I was like, uh-oh. There was like, you got to take our name off your Facebook. I was like, wait a minute. That's it? In my head, that's what I'm saying. Like, wait a minute, that's it? I was like, oh, sure, no problem. But then they said, do not have any more political discussions or any type of discussion that's going to cause this type of reaction. They was like, wait till you go home to do all of that stuff. But please take our company name off your Facebook page. I was like, no doubt. Thank you. And it was like, you're welcome. And it was like, next time, don't be doing that stuff on company time. Oh, no doubt. Thank you. And I was like, wow, son. See, what that white lady did not know, right, was I built a reputation in this company. Okay. I wasn't just employee ID number, whatever. They knew me, who I was. They knew my kids, my wife at the time. They knew who I was. They knew me as a person, who I was, what I stood about, what I stood for, what I stand for. They knew me. HR didn't care. The director dude, he didn't care. My supervisor, she definitely didn't care. And that executive dude that was in there, he didn't care either. The only concern they had, the company name was on my Facebook page. That was it. That was the only concern they had. Did not care about no political debate. They don't care about that stuff. They was just concerned that, the company name was on my Facebook page. That was it. And then I was like, wow. So I went back to my desk. I went on Facebook, of course, took off Medmetrics off of there. And I sat there at my desk and I was like, wow, son, this white woman tried to get me fired over a political discussion. That's it. A political discussion where I was very respectful. I just know how to articulate myself when I'm typing. Just because I speak like this on the pod, do not get it twisted, son. I just like to be comfortable in my own skin. But if I'm in a different type of environment, you best believe I'm going to move accordingly. But I could not believe she really tried to get me canceled, son, because of a political discussion. So that's why And this was back in like, I want to say 2010, 2011. Nah, I want to say, yeah, 2010, 2011. 8, 9. Yup, because Barack was president. So 2010, 2011. This was before cancel culture took off. I was about to be one of its first victims. On a lower scale, of course, but still, you get my point. I could not believe that was about to happen to me. Could not believe it. Could not believe it. And that was a lesson learned. And that's why I don't like the cancel culture, regardless of who the individual is, regardless of their sexual orientation, regardless of what political affiliation they have, regardless of their skin color, regardless if they're a male, regardless if they're female. I don't care about all of that. I'm a firm believer in the Constitution, your First Amendment right. Bro, you can speak and say what you want. I don't care. Even if it's some insensitive, dumb shit. I don't believe you should lose your job. I think that's stupid. Whoever the person is, let's say it's a celebrity, right? Done. Don't watch the person's show. Don't watch whatever product they sponsor. Whatever it is, don't watch it. But they should still have the right to say what they say. If it's ignorant shit, I'm pretty sure we can come together as a people to educate that person why what they're saying is some dumb shit. Simple. But this canceling stuff, man, it has to go away. We have to cancel the cancel culture and get back to having informative discussions. And if we can agree, we can just agree to disagree and keep it moving. Simple, Dread. That's how your boy move. See? And it just ties back into Dave Chappelle again, man. Like they really want this man to stop eating food. But you can't cancel a dude who's independent. Dave Chappelle is the perfect example of why you want to be independent. Because it seems like in this society that we're living in, if you're tied to any type of corporation, any type of product, they want to cancel you. And then that sponsor gets cold feet and then they want to let you go because of the age we're living in. Even if that sponsor probably agree with you on a personal level, they're like, we don't want the heat. We don't want that smoke. You don't want, especially Twitter is a cesspool. I flipping hate Twitter. I've been had a Twitter account before Twitter was even a thing because I'm a nerd. I'm a gamer. So my former coworker, he put me onto Twitter back in like 2011. And I mean, I was just following some game devs, but I kind of peeped what Twitter was. I'm like, nah, I'm good, son. This is a place for trolls. That's what Twitter's, for me, Twitter is a place for trolls. It's not a real place. It's just a place for bots and trolls. So I personally believe Twitter should go away. I think that platform has outlived its purpose, in my opinion. I think Instagram is a better platform because you can use that to promote your business. But Twitter, it is an absolute cesspool. You'll never catch me tweeting anything. Nothing, not even for the pod. I won't even sign up for Twitter because I know how that thing is over there. I've been studying Twitter, son. It's a cesspool and it's gotten progressively worse since its inception. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. Then they try to give you a blue check mark. That blue check mark, some of those people with the blue check marks, they're horrible. So no, like Dave Chappelle said, F Twitter. It's not a real place. It's a fake place. Boozy said it too. We're like, dude, I don't care about Twitter. They can keep that tweet. That thing is a flipping cesspool of nonsense, of trolling, shenanigans, buffoonery, prayer buffoonery. Excuse me while I take a sip of my water. Drink that water, OG. Shout out to my man, PSA Hip Hop. That's his saying. He says, drink that water 3. Me, I say, drink that water, OG. You feel me? So yeah, man, I'm not a fan of Twitter at all. So they can keep that. And again, this brings me back now to Mr. John Gruden. For those of you who don't know, John Gruden was the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, right? And this man lost his head coaching job because of some emails he sent that was pretty much stupid. I ain't gonna front. The emails were dumb. But these emails was back when he worked for ESPN. Now, when he worked at the NFL, now when he was a head coach, these emails came out when he was an employee at ESPN. And we all know what ESPN is. That place is a mess. That place is a straight mess. He said some insensitive, dumb stuff. But here's the part that having me laugh is when he's talked about, I guess, the alphabet community. That's when, it was too much. But, when he talked about the brother that he compared the black man's lips to the Michelin tire dude. Nah, he didn't have to lose his job for that. But he went against the alphabet community. Oh, too much. You got to go. Because he was saying some dumb shit. So here's my thing. This man should not have lost his head coaching position in the NFL. Shocker. I wish I had a sound effect machine. I'm getting me one. I know. Shocking news, everybody. Bully agrees with the white man. Yeah. John Gruden shouldn't have lost his job, B. That to me was silly. Dog, he worked at ESPN when those emails came out, not when he was the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Why is he losing his job? The NFL boggles my mind, dude. He should have been defended. To say that was when he was an employee at ESPN. We haven't seen any of those type of things since he's been a head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Nobody defended this man. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, I'm pretty sure y'all can probably find some dumb post I made many years ago. Would you hold that against me? That is stupid. Silly to me. I'm trying to wrap my head around the logic behind this. This man lost his head coaching job because he had a bunch of insensitive, dumbass email remarks that he did back when he was an ESPN analyst. When he worked at ESPN, like, what? Really? Not when he's a head coach. When he was an analyst at ESPN. I don't think John Gruden should have lost his job. Sorry. Again, I just do not agree with the cancel culture. It was the same thing with was it Roseanne Barr when she, disrespected Barack's senior, I believe it was his senior advisor, right? I think Roseanne called it senior advisor like a monkey or something. But she was high on some pills, she said. But Roseanne always be saying some wild stuff. Again, I didn't think she should have lost her job. Somebody should have talked to her like, yo, son, you saying some insensitive, dumbass shit right now, B. You can't be talking like that. Nope. Disney, ABC canceled her show. And when they fired her, you basically fired like 500 people because there's tons of people that has to do that, work for the show, the crew, the camera team, the light team, makeup, food people, everybody. I mean, it brought the show back, but it still ain't the same without her. But again, I don't think she should have lost her job because she said some dumb stuff. Again, John Gruden, this is when he was an employee at ESPN. Why is he losing his head coaching position? It don't make no sense to me. So again, man, I totally disagree with this cancel culture. This just not feeling it, man. His emails was insensitive, no doubt, but he should not have gotten canceled, man, at all. Just your boy can't agree with it. Sorry. I think we need to get back to having discussions. I think we should have had a discussion with John Gruden to talk about those insensitive remarks. How are we going to learn together if we just cancel this man? And you know what? Shout out to John Gruden. He's walking away with 60 mil because that's what the Raiders got to pay him. He signed like a 6 or 7 year, $100 million contract for a head coach, and they owe him 60 million. So good for him. At least he can get that and chill. But we need to get rid of this cancel culture, man. And I hope that Dave Chappelle's special, I hope that was the beginning of getting rid of that cancel culture, because the thing that's tripping me out right now is the alphabet community is pretty much canceling themselves, because now a lot of people are seeing how idiotic they're becoming. They don't have a sense of humor. Everything to them is homophobic. Like, you make a joke, you having a thought or opinion on something, they immediately want to shut you down. That's not how the world works. We can't live that way. Because if you live that way, what you're going to end up doing is causing Black people not to like you. You're going to end up having Black people not be feeling your cause. That's what's going to end up happening. You're going to end up losing that unity, right? Because think about it right now. I'm paying attention to what's going on. Fox News, all those conservative outlets, oh, they love this. They love this. They say liberals are eating each other alive, right? And I just want to tell Fox News, I'm sorry, I'm not a liberal. Believe it or not, I'm a progressive. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a liberal. I'm a progressive. I'm a forward-thinking individual. All right. So don't lump me in with these people. I'm not a liberal. I I live in a state where my governor is a Republican. I rocks with him. Shout out to Governor Baker. He a Republican. I rock with him because he beat out some Democrat, whipped his tail because this is a liberal state, and we knew to vote for Baker because it's just logical thinking. He hasn't done nothing wrong to lose that governorship. Nothing. He's governing right down the middle. And that's how we like it here in the state. You just got to be a sensible person. We don't care what you are, D-R-I, we don't care. Just be a logical, sensible person. In the state of Massachusetts, we'll rock with you. So shout out to Governor Baker. But yeah, I'm a progressive. But back to what I was saying. Fox News, all of these conservative outlets, they see what's going on, B. They see that the alphabet community is going too far. And now they know, and I kind of feel it. It's like Black people now are starting to look at the alphabet community as not an ally. We're starting to look at them as an enemy. And that's the last thing the alphabet crew want, is to make Black people your enemy. Because once you do that, that little Democrat party is done. Because once Black people just say, you know what, screw this Democrat party, and we don't vote, you're done. The Republicans will just take over. And don't do that fear mongering and say Republicans ain't no better. We don't have no horse in this race. I've always said that, Black people, we don't have no horse in this race. Whether it's Democrat, Republican, we don't got no horse in the race. But what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing is bubbling up is animosity starting to build up. That's what I'm starting to sense. And that's making me nervous because I rocks with the alphabet community because I'm a spiritual man. I love all humans. And I love people who's having a human experience. I understand at a spiritual level, I understand the human experience. What I'm not understanding is the bad behavior and the automatic trigger to cancel somebody and not talk. As a spiritual man, I cannot agree with that at all. So we need to get rid of this cancel culture. We need to start talking to one another again. And again, if we can't agree on anything, we can agree to disagree and keep it moving. If somebody says some insensitive, dumb remarks, we don't cancel that individual. We try to educate them, have a conversation. And, you know, if they're on Twitter, Instagram, whatever they're on, you know, you can stop watching them. So those are my thoughts about, you know, the cancel culture. Those are my thoughts about the cancel culture. Your boy is not feeling it. Your boy don't agree with it at all. I want us to get back to talking, man. I'm a big proponent of talking. I'm a big proponent of communication. I'm a big proponent of it. Communication, man. Let's get back to talking. Alphabet community. Don't let the Black community start to look at you sideways. You don't want to lose an ally, son. You don't. You want us as your ally. And I want to be your ally. But me, I mess with my people. Even though I'm a spiritual man and I love all humans. I really do. I love all humans. But I rock with my Black people, man, and my Spanish people. I rock with them. And we're all starting to say, hey, let's talk. Relax. Let's talk. So just one man's thoughts on the situation about this cancel culture thing. And now I'm going to talk about something that's, I don't even know where to begin with this one. I am so happy that I'm going through this spiritual growth because, I've been doing meditation every day. I've been speaking to God. And as I'm growing spiritually, as I'm growing, so many things around me is happening. But I know God is protecting me and He's building me up for something. Like I know I have a greater purpose in life. I know I have a greater purpose on this earth to do great things. And I feel like God is preparing me for that next step in my life. So you're probably wondering, what is OG talking about? Why is he saying that? My sister, who I love, like cook food. I think I said in my podcast that my sister was battling a very serious illness. Well, my sister has cancer, right? And it's stage 4. She's in, you know, the last stage. I lost my other sister last year to COVID. And I lost her to COVID because, she had a lot of underlying health issues. And that really rocked my family. The crazy thing is, my first sister's death, that actually brought my family closer together, right? We were starting to bond, like a lot of animosity, hurt feelings, a lot of those things started to go away. We started to bond together. Then we get this information that my sister she couldn't walk. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't walk. Rush her to the hospital. They do a bunch of blood work, bunch of tests, comes back and find out that she has cancer. And I was kind of wondering why the hospital was being kind of, iffy with the information. And then yesterday, well, today's Saturday now as I'm recording. Thursday was my sister's birthday. Her earth strong. And then she gets the news that she's about to graduate. That she has maybe two more weeks to live. For those who don't know, I call death not graduation because I don't like that word. So I call it graduation. So my sister has 2 more weeks for her graduation. Then she goes to the spiritual realm to be with my family and to be God's angel. So, of course, my mother's freaking out now. My mother's old, man. She's 76. She's old. She's starting to look old now. Body is breaking down. And now my mother is like, why is she losing her kids? Like, why is her kids being buried before her? Like, she loves my sister Paulette. Like, they're really close. She was close with Pam, but she was more close with my sister Paulette. And my mother is she's going through so much pain because my stepfather, he is very ill. So my mother's been calling me a pastor. My coworkers call me the prophet. So I've been preaching a lot lately. And my mother was going through so much pain. So I just started giving my mother a sermon, just talking to her and telling her it's going to be okay. God has a plan. I calm my mother's spirit down. My mother's like, how are you so calm? It's funny. My son said the same thing. Like, how are you so calm? I believe I'm calm because my spirit is at a right place. My mindset is at a right place. Because I'm trying not to let any negative energy, anything affect me. I'm trying to stay positive the best I can and try to heal those who need healing. I believe what God is preparing me for is to speak his gospel, is to help those who need help, who need spiritual help. Help those who need spiritual healing, help those who need spiritual help, and help those who may just need some kind words because they're going through something. I have this ability to resonate with people when I speak because I come from a place of passion and I speak from a place of love. That's it. Passion and love. Because again, I love all humans. So I calm my mom down and I had to probably make the toughest call I've ever had to make in my life. I sat in my car at work in the parking lot. I did some meditation for about 5 minutes. I spoke to God and I said, God, I need your strength right now to give me the words to speak as I call my sister, because what am I supposed to tell my sister who knows her graduation is coming up in about 2 weeks? What words can I draw to give her any type of inspiration? What words? What do you say to somebody whose graduation is coming, is imminent? There's nothing you can do to stop it. What do you say? So I had to call my sister today and I said to myself, I'm going to give my sister a sermon. And man, I started talking, and then God just started filling up my thoughts. And then those thoughts came out. I told my sister, don't be afraid to go to graduation. Now my sister starts bawling, but she's listening. Because I told her, don't say nothing, just listen. Told her, don't be afraid of graduation. I said, your sister, your grandmother, your uncles, you have family waiting for you in the spiritual realm. They're waiting for you. You have nothing to be afraid of. And I said, think about it. You're going to a place where there's love, joy, and happiness, no pain. This physical realm where you're living on, you're in pain. You're in suffering. Why? You're going to go to a beautiful place. Then I told her, if you're worried about my nephew and my niece, which is her kids, you don't have to worry about them. God is going to protect them and guide them. And I said, not only that, you will. Because when you're not doing God's work in that spirit realm, you're going to come down here and in your own ways, you're going to give us signs to make sure that we're walking on the correct path. I said, when you get your wings to become an angel, look out for the family. Look out for your kids. Send us the signs that we need to make sure we're living right while we're here. You're going to a beautiful place. My sister stopped crying. She stopped. It's like she became peace with it. She understood. Then, of course, I told her that I love her, that I will always love you. And when her graduation day do come, I'm still going to try to connect with her as I grow spiritually. I'm going to try to connect with her. But man, that was the toughest call I ever had to make. And that's why I thank God for giving me the strength and the words to use. Because now I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. Today I don't know if you guys know, I'm on a diet. Shout out to my sister Paul, that I love you. I'm on a diet. Today I wanted something to eat. Some bad food, I guess you can say. So I went to McDonald's today. But don't worry, I had a small fry. That's all I got from McDonald's. Small fry. And there was the girl at the register. She had an anchor on, a spiritual anchor on, and then she had a spiritual stone, and then she had some beads around her wrist. So I said, those are all spiritual items. Interesting. And I felt her energy. She had great energy. So I said, do you know that I showed her my chakra pendant and she was amazed by it? Wanted to touch it, but no touchy. You don't touch my pendant. And I asked her, I was like, do you know that pendant, what it means around your neck? And she said, yes. And she explained it to me what it was. I said, good. Then I explained to her my pendant and she knew what it was as well. Then me and her started talking spiritually because she said, I'm just now starting my spiritual journey. And I said, oh, that's excellent. I'm in my beginnings as well. And I said, do you know what vibration means? And she's like, yeah. And I said, you're vibrating on a high frequency. That's why you and I are connecting right now. I said, get used to this. Your energy is infectious, right? Because you're in good aura, good energy, you're going to attract good energy. And I said, during this little spiritual growth you're in, I said, if you want to know who you are, the first lesson you want to learn is who you are, right? Because as a spiritual person, right, all these years you're walking on this earth, you really don't know, at least for me anyway, I didn't know who I was. Not until I read a book called um, Numerology and Astrology for Beginners. It's an audiobook. When I listened to that book, it described me to a T. I was like, whoa, it made everything make sense. It made sense why my marriage failed. It made sense why I was in certain relationships, because there are people that you will meet along your way who will come into your life just for a specific thing. And now that I know who I am and how I vibrate, now I know how to move more smarter. Now I know, I mean, I already know what I want in a woman, but she has to be on the same frequency I'm on, spiritual frequency. If me and her are not on that same frequency, it's not going to work. Even if there's a sexual attraction there, which I don't even care about. That's the last thing on my mind. Even if that's there, if she's not on the same frequency I'm on, she has to keep it moving. So where am I going with this? The girl at McDonald's, right? Young lady at McDonald's, she said I touched her soul by speaking the way I was speaking to her, helping her with her spiritual journey. I touched her soul. I said, wow. I said, you're welcome. And it's crazy she said that because last night, Mamacita called me, y'all, last night. And she's on a business trip. And she called me while she's on her business trip. As, you know, I'm telling her what I'm dealing with and going through. Then, of course, I don't know what is with me in this preaching. So now I start preaching to her. And she was like, yo, you're making the hairs on my forearm stand up. That made my blood run cold when she said that. She was like, Dread, I'm making the hairs on her arm stand up as I'm speaking to her. And she said to me, you are becoming a new man. And she finds it very attractive. But she also finds it intimidating because she knows me. But she said, I'm talking differently. And she said, I have this energy that's different. It's a great energy. And she said the spirit, the sermon that I gave her, the spiritual advice that I gave her, she said is working. So now I'm thinking, right? Is this my purpose? Am I supposed to touch souls? Am I supposed to speak God's words to people, but in a spiritual way? How do I get God's message out there? The podcast. I'm going to play a video, right? I'm going to play a video that's going to describe your boy. For all of those people out there who know me or who thought they know me, this video I'm going to play is going to describe you. It's going to describe to you who I truly am. It's mind-blowing, and I love it. No Kwame Brown this week. Today, I'm going to play something a little different. Today, I am going to play a video called 10 signs you're a chosen one, unique qualities of the chosen ones. The gentleman channel here is called Fascinating TV. If you're a spiritual person and let's say you're starting your spiritual journey, I say go to this person's channel and check out their videos. It's mind-blowing. I'm learning so much about myself. It is so exciting. And it feels good. I feel like I'm almost able to cope and deal with any type of negative stuff now because of where my mind is, the vibration that I'm on. I'm able to cope with it. I'm able to deal with it. So I'm going to play this video and we're going to do some commentary because I want to discuss some of the points that he's making in this video. So this video is pretty much about me and my spiritual growth and where I'm at on a spiritual level. Right? Here we go.
Hello, you beautiful, lovely star seeds. Welcome back to my channel. There are many people out there who leave life never realizing that they are the chosen ones who are chosen to create a better world in this timeline. Due to how the society traditionally portray chosen ones and spiritually woke people, most of them often second-guess their unique abilities, thinking that they are not enough and worthy for greatness. Today, I am going to reveal 10 outstanding qualities and signs you are truly a chosen one. The star seed of the society has caused a lot of pains because of their uniqueness. Chosen ones exist in different variations and reveals themselves in many ways. Here are the 10 qualities that proves you are truly a star seed, the chosen one.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to these 10 qualities he's about to name off, right? And I'm going to go through each one of them. But let's pay attention. Let's start with the first one.
Number 1. You possess a unique sense of curiosity to know and understand life and the whole universe altogether.
I'm going to pause it right there. If you ever listen to my podcast, my previous episodes, what is the one thing I've been harping on this whole time? I seek knowledge, but not knowledge of man. I'm not seeking a knowledge of how to build a rocket ship or a car. I'm not seeking that type of knowledge. I seek knowledge of the universe and how we're connected with the universe. I'm seeking knowledge of how the earth works with us. I'm seeking knowledge of this vibration in humans. I'm seeking knowledge of how to interact with humans while I'm here in this physical realm. I'm curious like a mofo, and I've always been this person. Even when I was in school, the one subject that had me was history. I'm fascinated with history. My mind just wants to just dive into the beginning of time until we're at currently. That's how deep in love I am with history. I love space and how we're connected to the stars and how our spirits work with the constellation. I'm in love with numerology and astrology now. This stuff, like right now, as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm getting chills. How excited I get. My spirit just gets aroused, so to speak. But we shall continue.
For chosen people, it doesn't matter what kind of situation they find themselves. Though they go through a lot in life.
Hold on, y'all. They're doing a little commercial, so I gotta just, let the commercial do its thing. Get rid of that. Oh, did I screw this up? Hold on, I think I made a boo-boo. I think I made a boo-boo. Where is my... Oh. There we go. All right, here we go.
Extreme curiosity to know, to find knowledge and explore life. Because they have been chosen to build a new way of living here on Earth. They are those type of people that like to question rules and regulations out of their curiosity to know.
That is me to a T. I question everything, especially when it comes to the JP. Now I know why I do it. This makes sense because every time I see something and I'm like, why are we doing this? This don't make no sense whatsoever to me. And I've always been like that. No matter what job I'm at, I always try to find ways to improve whatever loopholes or nonsense that I see. Like people are just not they're either oblivious to it or they just don't know any better. So I'm like, what is this? Why is this working this way? Why is this doing that way? You can blame the military for that too. And they instill some stuff into me that I still carry to this day. But it's like, yeah, that's me. That is me. We shall continue.
I don't consider myself as a chosen one, but I know that chosen people are extremely curious to the core. What common people find hard or impossible, chosen people see it as a new opportunity to experiment, experience and explore. For them, nothing is simple or hard. They are always on the go seeking for new form of knowledge and are very enthusiastic to do anything possible to find wisdom in this new age of Aquarius.
That is me. I am always seeking knowledge. Again, not man's knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And I'm telling you, when I do my meditation and I talk to God and I say, God, I need to be vibrating with people on the same frequency I'm on, so that way I can do great things. And I'm telling you, he's been constantly either bringing people across me at the JP that is dropping the spiritual knowledge, or I'm listening to audiobooks, or I randomly just ran into this dude's channel and I'm like, whoa, that's ironic. And I'm listening to some of his stuff and it came over me. My spirit came over me and said, yo, this is what we need to talk about on the pod. So we shall continue.
The more the journey of life gets harder, the more chosen people become curious to know how and why situations appear as they are.
And that was me. I did some self-reflecting and I'm like, yo, why am I in the position I'm in? Why am I in the situation I'm in? Nothing don't make no sense to me. I'm like, I'm such a humble, grounded, peaceful individual. Why is my situation the way it is? I'm not happy with my situation. And I just asked God, like, what is going on? So that's when the spiritual awakening started to happen to me.
Due to the intensity of curiosity inbuilt in the DNA of the chosen ones, this set of people are willing to spend the rest of their lives trying to figure out solutions, repattern a more functioning system in this broken world.
You hear what he just said? I'm always thinking of ways in my mind, like, how can we improve society? Like, one of the things I don't like is the school system. Like, the public school system in the United States is outdated. That way of teaching the future generation is archaic to me, and it's outdated. That thing is so boring. School should be fun. If you make school fun, kids will love it. You make learning fun and make school fun, kids will learn it. Not only that, we need to start teaching them the right curriculum, right? We need to start preparing them for the future. But it's like the way the system is set up, they want these kids to fail, to put you in debt, screw up your credit. So it's like they just want you to start your adult life all screwed up. I'm like, yo, Star, why are you not teaching these kids credit, taxes, finances, economic literacy? Why are we not teaching these kids life skills? Forget, we know they need basic math, basic reading, science. We get that. But you're not teaching them life skills. What I noticed with the school system, they just prepare you for book stuff. And of course, they got trade schools, but we need to get trading back into school. Trading should be in every single school. It shouldn't just be certain vocational schools. Trading should be in every single school. The way we're teaching these kids is outdated. It's archaic. Even the way we work, to me, is archaic and outdated. We should be working 4 days a week, have 3 days off, so you work 10 hours a day. Why are we still in this old way of doing things? You see how my mind thinks? That's me. So I know I'm a chosen one, because everything he's about to describe to you, I'm going to break it down for you and be like, yo, that's me. You see, that's how my mind works. I'm constantly thinking of like, well, why is things the way they are? I question everything. That's why I told y'all, you can't put me in no party. You can't put me in no religion. I question everything. I don't take nothing for face value. I'm at a point in my life now when I look at these presidents, I'm like, whatever. I don't even pay them no mind no more, because I'm old enough now to see nothing changes. I'm literally old enough now to say nothing changes. When you're young, you give it time. Now that I'm older now, I'm like, nah, nigga, nothing changes. But we shall continue. I don't want to get off on a tangent and start preaching, but we shall continue.
Other people view their sense of curiosity as weird, or view them as being stupid. People.
That right there. I'm sorry, I gotta keep pausing. That right there. Curiosity. People I think people used to think I was weird, crazy, or stupid. My homie CHEVY, she is now getting in tune with her spiritual side. Like everything I've been telling her, she's now starting to realize, holy shit, I'm making sense. She started, because the way she tells me things, I understand. And then she tells me people call her crazy. They think she's stupid, blah, 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 blah. I had to tell her, you're not crazy. You're not stupid. I said, ironically, you're actually the sane one. The people around you, they're the stupid ones, but they don't know no better. They don't. They're human. They have no clue. They're not spiritual. They may think they're religious, but then really not. They have no clue, right? Because they have no clue, you must ignore them. And I told her, you need to be on a frequency and you need to be on a vibe with people that think like you. And I said, as you go through this journey, you're going to see. And I'm so happy for her. I gave her a spiritual gift. And that gift that I gave her, I'm not going to mention what it is, but that gift that I gave her is changing who she is. Like her whole energy, her aura, everything about her has changed. She's like glowing now, son. And she is so happy. That makes me happy. So again, that brings me back to, I think this is what God wants me to do, is to help and heal people's lives. So we shall continue.
People most times may reject their ideas. This is because they are not able to grasp their high sense of deep thoughts or ideas. Because chosen ones possess high intensity of burning desire to create, which surpasses the mediocrity of the common people. However, they find themselves curiously exploring life alone due to too much misunderstanding. I might not consider the chosen ones as being highly intelligent, but one thing I know for sure is that their mind is awakened to the hyper-genius degree. And that is why many people jealous them and cause them a lot of pains. So, if you find yourself always trying to learn more, chances are you are woke and ready to live a life of abundance during the age of Aquarius.
That is me. I'm ready to live a life of abundance because my spirit right now is dying to go to Hawaii. My spirit is like, dude, we have to get to Hawaii, Dread. My spirit also wants me to go to Egypt, Cairo, where the pyramids are. Think about that. My spirit, I don't know what it is. Like, even on my Facebook page, I got the pyramids in the background. And this was before I started my spiritual journey. I had the pyramids as my background picture. Like, I've always been fascinated with those with those pyramids. Drink that water, oh. I didn't even smoke a spliff yet. My tongue is a little heavy. Drink that water, oh. I'm going to play that video, man. But yeah, my spirit wants to go to flipping Egypt and Hawaii. Hawaii, I was told, has a lot of high energy. And of course, Egypt is where the pyramids are. So those are the two places that I want to go visit ASAP.
This is also known as mind awakening, when someone will come to the point of naturally understanding everything in existence. If you are a chosen one, then you are always hungry to know and find out alternate solutions by yourself. You don't follow the modern rules. Number 2. You are creative or becoming more creative after your spiritual enlightenment.
That is me right there. I've always been a creative person. Always. Because remember, if you listen to my pod, what did I tell you? I love the arts. I'm a fan of the arts. That's creativity. I love acting. I love singing. I love the actual art itself, being an artist. I love plays. Like, I'm not your average movie goer. I'm not your average TV show watcher. I'm not your average music listener, because I go deep into it. So yes, and now that I'm doing the pod, you have no idea how many creative things I'm thinking in my mind that I want to do with the pod. So all of this stuff that he's talking about is mind-blowing to me because it describes me to a T. We shall continue.
Though creativity expresses itself in different forms and styles, but chosen people are as well highly creative due to the spiritual enlightenment attached to it. Their sense of creativity can easily be smelled due to their unique nature. Unlike the chosen ones, a common person always wants to recreate and paint what has already been created. But for the
I'm gonna pause it right there. That is Hollywood to me. That's why I don't like nothing Hollywood puts out, because I'm like, dude, you guys don't got no original thoughts anymore. You keep just rehashing everything. Everything is a remake. I'm like, where's there a creativity? The original ideas is like everything is a rehash, 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 rehash. And that's why I don't care what anything Hollywood brings out. That's why I like Netflix, man, because Netflix does a good job of trying to find independent directors, writers. They try to bring fresh ideas to the table, and I love it. I rock with Netflix. Hollywood, no, I'm good. Y'all rehash too much, man. I think Hollywood is also outdated.
The chosen people, it appears to be boring to keep on doing what already exists. This kind of people don't go according to the societal norms and traditions when it comes to creativity. They are ready to do anything possible in order to be independent of this matrix. They prefer to create their own source of income than to go to the normal 9-to-5 jobs.
And that's what I've been working on behind the scenes, is I'm trying to start my own business, and I'm just praying to God that everything comes through, so I don't have to work at this JP anymore and do a 9-to-5. I don't want to work for nobody. It's just the way my mind thinks. I cannot work for anybody, because my mind is thinks on such a high level. I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice working at this place, because it's going to sound a little cocky and elitist, but the way my mind thinks, I'm like, I'm too good for this place. I'm way too good for this place. So that's why behind the scenes, I'm trying to work on starting my own business so I can be independent and free. Like, I want to start my own business, then I want this podcast to take off. Those are the two things that bring me joy, is starting my own business, which I'm working on, and the pod. Those two items. Oh, excuse me. Also giving God's words, God's message. That brings me joy. But the podcast, it will be my outlet to, do my sermons, give God's message. So we shall continue.
They love creating things in their own patterns. Are you a chosen one? So how creative are you? Also, how have you been trying to explore your creative nature since the last 2 years ago? Do you know?
See, you heard what he just said? How have you been exploring your creative nature? Dread, I just started this pod 2 months ago. Do you see how the Father worked? You see how God worked? Hear what he just said. What have you been doing the last 2 years to get your creativity going? The pod. Like, I will not record a podcast if my spirit doesn't tell me this is something we need to talk about. I always wait on my spirit to give me the guidance to say, go ahead, talk about this week. And this week it was this. I wanted to let everybody know, if you really wanted to know who your boy was, these 10 signs of the chosen ones, take the chosen one out of it, because you're going to get that word twisted. Instead of chosen ones, replace it with highly spiritual. That is your boy. That is me. I'm a chosen one that is highly spiritual. My man Tahim Blanca, he's highly spiritual. My next creative mind is to do a podcast with that gentleman. Like, I want him to come on this podcast and host with me, because I want him to discuss his spiritual journey that I'm going through. So that's my next step, is to get Tahim on so that he can discuss the Star family, because he's always posting that. And I want everybody to know what he means. And I want him to get his message out there in the universe through this pod. So that's my next step, is to get Tahim on this pod so we can talk about our spiritual growth.
Know that creativity is a definite sign of a spiritually awakened person who is in alignment with him or her natural self, because it requires thinking flexible and outside the box. It also necessitates the ability to shift and change your patterns of thinking from one way to another. Creativity is a trait of a genius. It could be that you are an awakened soul. Number 3. Chosen ones don't hold grudges and are kind-hearted. This is to say that they can be forgiving so much to the extent people start taking them for granted. They are good and kind-hearted. Of course, good and kind-hearted people are not necessarily those that are close to you. Sometimes we find and meet strangers who would go out of their way to help or assist us, not even knowing us personally. Kind-hearted people are always careful and mindful of their words and behavior towards others. Because for the chosen ones, they know that whatever one does or says echoes till eternity. So, they are very careful of how they interact with other people.
That is me to a T. I'm extremely careful how I interact with people. I choose my words wisely and I choose my words carefully. Okay. It's funny because shout out to Digi. He's my spiritual brother. Anytime I say certain words, he said, Bully, what did you just say? You want to correct that, man. You mean blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wow, good catch, Dread. So, yes, I'm extremely careful about how I speak to people, how I talk. I choose my words wisely. Sometimes I think about something I said, and I'm like, you know what? Let me wheel that back. I meant to say this. I even do it on the pod sometime where I either mispronounce a word or I say something that I didn't really want to say, and I wheel it back because I don't edit here. Y'all get the raw and uncut with me. Ain't no edits here. This is me. So, yeah, we shall continue.
Unfortunately, a lot of times they are the ones that end up abused because they just always see the good in others, so they trust openly. The most used and abused people are the kind-hearted ones, even without expecting benefit from the kindness they show and do. They seem to be the favorite victims of the bad ones. Despite that, I encourage you star seeds to keep on with your good heart. It will definitely pay off at the end of this journey. Number 4. Chosen ones are very open-minded to new ideas and ways of doing things in this new age of Aquarius. Being open-minded is what differentiates chosen people from common people. Being open-minded to new things, ideas, situations, whether hard or easy, shows you are more tolerant and adventurous.
That is me to a T. I'm extremely open-minded. Again, if you listen to the pod, past episodes, what I always say, I'm a progressive thinking individual. Yeah, I told you, as I was watching this video, it was just blowing my mind how he's describing to a T who I am. Like, I'm such an open-minded individual. I don't care about nonsensical stuff. People who are attracted to the same sex, do you know what I always say? They're having a human experience. Leave them be. Because as a spiritual man, I know what that means. Now, as a spiritual man, I love women, but that's just my spirit. But I love all humans. I'm going to say that again. I love all humans. I believe we need to be in a world now where we need to start loving one another, not like, love. And I'm not talking about being in love. I'm talking about loving your fellow human. F the skin color. Forget their sexual orientation. Forget all about that stuff, Dread. Just love thy neighbor. Simple. We overcomplicate stuff. Simplify everything. Love thy human. That's it, man. We need more love. We shall continue.
When it comes to being open-minded to ideas or things, common people find it very hard, because they are fixed-minded, traditional and mentally programmed to always do things in a continuous circle, always believing and not questioning their belief systems. Subsequent to that, it becomes difficult for other people to accept new challenges, since they find it hard to figure out new ideas on how to maneuver difficult situations. So therefore, they remain at their comfort zones. In the other hand, the chosen ones tend to accept new situations, challenges, accept other people's point of view, because they believe they are capable of handling things in the right pattern. This is not to say that others are not open-minded as well. Of course, most people are open-minded to do things in the common way. For the chosen people, it doesn't matter who said or how it is being said. What matters the most for them is the quality of ideas being presented to the table.
Exactly, son. The quality of ideas being presented at the table. When I used to be in management, man, I tell you, because the way my mind thinks, and even back then, I was a little bit spiritual, but my mind always worked that way. I always be like, nah, why are we doing this? Let's do this. I've always looked for ways to make my job simplified. Always. Always. No matter what work it was, I'm like, nah, Negro, why are we doing this that way? And if they don't want to change it, the way my mind works, I'm going to try to work around whatever is impeding me to do my job efficiently and effectively. I will work around that. As long as I'm not breaking some type of protocol, I will still work around that to make sure I can do my job efficiently. If the powers that be can't see what I'm seeing.
And I believe that being open-minded as a chosen one, you are more likely to be successful, no matter what you have gone through, whether you accept it or not. Are you always open-minded? Then, it could be that you have awakened to observe things rather than to judge people. You now believe that everything in this universe is one. Time to explore chosen ones, because the age of Aquarius is meant for people like you. Number 5. They are very generous. Generosity is a way of life. In big ways, donating to charity, and small ways, picking up coffee for another, or giving people valuable information that can help them, these people are glad to share their resources.
That is me right there to a T. That is me to a T. I'm extremely generous. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all some personal stories real quick, right? As you know, your boy's single. And when I would go out on dates, I would just pay for the dinner because I'm like, dog, we're out on date. We're out on a date. I'm a man. I'm going to pay for the dinner. I'm not expecting anything in return. And yo, these women would always think like I want something in return. And it used to boggle my mind. It perplexed me. I'm like, we're two human beings out on a date. I don't want nothing from you because the way my mind thinks, if I want something from a female, I don't beat around the bush. I let them know straight up what I want. I've always been that way. But if we're going out, it's no big deal. But this brings me to CHEVY. When I first met CHEVY, she wasn't used to a dude like me. She wasn't used to a man like me. Like, I would go to like the Jamaican spot. And me and CHEVY talk. She'd be like, oh, you know, I love the Jamaicans, jerk chicken and rice and peas. So I'm like, I'm at the Jamaican spot. I'm just getting me a soup because I don't eat that food no more. So I'm just getting me like a soup with no meat. And I'm like, you know what? Let me get a jerk chicken, rice and peas for my friend. That's just the way I think. I've always been that way. As a matter of fact, the ladies that work at the Jamaican spot, I'll be having a coffee. And she said, Amar, you never bring me no coffee too? I'm like, oh, you want coffee? I got you. So now, when I go to the Jamaican spot, right, I'll pick up something for CHEVY. I'll pick some coffee for the ladies. And I don't want nothing in return. Because that's just who I am. I'm just trying to be a good human being. And I'm trying to live the best life that I can live. And I'm trying to be a better person that I am today than I was yesterday. I'm extremely generous. I've always been generous. But don't take me for no fool, though. I'm generous to a certain extent. But yes, this describes me to a T when he said either donating to your charity, picking up coffee, like, you know, little things like that. Like like the spiritual gift I gave to CHEVY. I don't want nothing in return other than I see and I feel like I fixed her spirit and now she's good to go. And the type of person she is, what she's going through, she's going to pass down to someone else to begin their spiritual growth. And like I told her, we only can change one human soul at a time. That's all you want. That's how you really have change, is by changing one human soul at a time. We shall continue.
The person gives without expecting recognition. In fact, people like this often give of themselves anonymously, perfectly happy to go unnamed and unnoticed. They give of their time. For many people in our fast-paced society, time is the most precious commodity. So it speaks volumes when someone is willing to spend a Saturday helping a friend move or doing yard work for an elderly neighbor. This unique trait makes them highly attractive. We love to be around people we know that are not judging our worth and evaluating us constantly to see if we measure up. They make things smooth.
That is me, man. I do not like to be around people that are braggadocious and all of that stuff and then watching my pockets, what I have, what I'm driving, what I'm wearing. I told y'all many years ago, I was dating this Spanish woman. I'm going to call her Miss G because she's married now. And she got that mindset. See, I'm telling you, man, God is powerful. God used her as a vessel to talk to me because she was the one that got me out of that materialistic mindset. Like, Dread, your mind of thinking is so way off, she used to tell me. She's the one that got me out of that mindset. So when I'm around people that's braggadocious and all of that stuff, to me, that's negative energy. I don't want to be around that. Have a good day. Because if you watching what I'm wearing and all of that stuff, dude, Like I told y'all some podcasts ago, I used to rock jewelry. But you know the type of jewelry I rock now? It's spiritual jewelry. That's how your boy get down. I rock spiritual jewelry. That's it. That's it. So
Not rough.
we shall continue.
Kindness is the grease that keeps the gears of daily life running smoothly. It calms anxiety, turns sadness into joy, and prevents annoyances from igniting into arguments. Number 6. Chosen ones love being alone, learning and exploring their spiritual side.
Bingo again, son. That is me. That is me to a T. I've been alone for a while now, and I love it. I love being alone because until I meet somebody who's on the same vibration I'm on, the same frequency I'm on, and now that I'm understanding astrology and numerology better, oh, you best believe I'm gonna find my match. I no longer will put myself with someone who's not on the same vibration I'm on or the same frequency I'm on. I love being alone. And he's absolutely correct. I love being alone, learning and exploring my spiritual side. I love it. You have no idea how happy I am right now that I'm learning about myself. It is the most exciting time I'm ever having in my life, besides the time when my son was born. Like this moment I'm going through, this new beginning of the next chapter in my life, it is so exciting. And I cannot wait to see what God has in store for me. I cannot wait. This is me. Number 6 is me to a T. We shall continue.
It is a proven fact that chosen people spend a lot of time alone because of various misunderstandings from other people. This is not because they hate other people or not sociable enough. Chosen ones are sociable in their own nature. Despite of that, they prefer to spend time alone in solitude, meditating, learning about astrology, numerology.
Did you hear what he just said? That's what I do. In my bedroom, I meditate, talk to God. I'm studying astrology and numerology. Yo, I'm telling you, when he was saying these things, I'm like, yo, this is bananas. Because this is me to a T. So everyone out there who wants to know who I am, if you're listening to the pod, these 10 signs that I'm a highly spiritual person, a chosen one, this is who I am. This is who your boy is. We shall continue.
History, universe, and taking care of themselves.
I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to play that back because he said some things that I want y'all to listen because I paused it in between. So I'm going to play that back just a tiny bit. Let's go back to like 8:16. Let's go back to there.
Chosen ones love being alone, learning and exploring their spiritual side. It is a proven fact that chosen people spend a lot of time alone because of various misunderstandings from other people. This is not because they hate other people or not sociable enough. Chosen ones are sociable in their own nature. Despite of that, they prefer to spend time alone in solitude, meditating, learning about astrology, numerology, history, universe, and taking care of themselves.
He just described who I am to a T. What did I tell you in the beginning what I love? History. Didn't I tell you I hated school, but history had me hooked? That was my highest grade. Like I was an honor student in history. That thing had me hooked. The universe. I'm hooked. Astrology, numerology, I'm hooked. Understanding human beings, I'm hooked. The earth, I'm hooked. This man is describing your boy. I love it. So just listening to again and sharing this with y'all, I absolutely love it. We shall continue.
They know they are highly capable of achieving greatness, which makes them to spend more time alone working daily to better their life. So, if you like your own company and aren't constantly in need of being around others, that's a clear sign that you are meant for something special. I have come to the realization that people who spend a lot of time alone have a far deeper sense of understanding complex situations and concepts, which makes the chosen ones extraordinary. Do you love being alone? How much time do you spend alone preparing yourself for the new age of Aquarius? Write that in the comment box below. Number 7. Chosen ones have the spiritual abilities to connect concepts that are seemingly unrelated. Do you know that chosen people have a well-developed and trained spiritual eyes and mental cognition, capable of connecting unrelated matters in the universe. They are known for their abstract way of thinking and finding solutions, unlike people who are not spiritually awakened.
Abstract thinking and finding solutions. I've always been that way. My homie Chevy too. She told me something too. She's that way as well. I've always been that way. Oh man, this is so. You have no idea how happy this makes me feel. We shall continue.
Many people love obeying rules and regulations, doing as they are told. They are not eager to break rules and connect abstract things that doesn't fit in the box. Though they can even be more intelligent, but their intelligence is limited to the rules and regulation of the system they find themselves. In the other hand, chosen ones are outside-the-box thinkers. Give them an assignment, you won't help but to receive a more complex and well-detailed solutions which most people are unwilling to render.
That is me. That is me. When I used to be in management, and it would, come up with some policy or procedure, man, I'm sitting there just the wheels is turning in my head. I'm trying to figure out how to make this a seamless, easy process. I always look for things that are complicated and be like, we gotta simplify this sucker. Like, this is literally too. It's unnecessarily complicated, is what I like to say. We shall continue.
No wonder chosen ones can be sometimes daydreamers. They spend time alone analyzing Earth and Pluto with their complex mind, calculating the next astrological events. Though in most situations, you choose simplicity over complication.
You heard that? What did he just say? I choose simplicity over complication. I don't like complicated stuff. I'm always trying to think a way how to simplify this stuff here because it doesn't make any sense to me. Sometimes people get in their own way when they make things extremely complicated. That's unnecessary. So this is how I know I'm a chosen one, because when I was in the military taught me this method right here. It's like they call it KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And I was like, oh, that's cool, because I love keeping things simple. And I'll never forget, one day I'm in the military, right? And my sergeant was like, pick up these sandbags and place them on the pallet to get them into the truck. I'm like, okay. So I'm picking up one sandbag at a time. I picked up the first two. My sergeant was like, drop. I was like, whoa. He's like, give me 25. I'm like, what the? Okay, I did my little 25 push-ups, got up. And he's like, do you know why I made you do them push-ups, soldier? And I'm like, no, drill sergeant. And he was like, and then that's when he kind of like took off his little drill sergeant hat and was like, look at all your platoon buddies sitting right there. Why didn't you go to your platoon buddies and say, hey, help me, let's start a chain, a line, and we can just pass the sandbags down the chain, down the line, and we can stack them, instead of me going back and forth, picking up one sandbag, bringing it to the pallet, picking up one sandbag, bringing it to the pallet. He's like, start a chain and bring the sandbags down the chain. And he's like, in the military, son, you work smarter, not harder, bro. That stuck with me. Like, it just resonated with me. So everywhere I went to work, no matter what type of job it was, if I see shit that's unnecessarily complicated, I'm like, this is trash. Get this thing out of here. I'm gonna do it this way. But I'm always conscious enough, mindful enough to know I gotta make sure I'm not breaking any rules. But if I can just do a little loophole and work around whatever is impeding me to do my job more effectively, oh yeah, you best believe your boy will do it. And then if that company puts me in a position now where I can have some say in certain things, oh yeah, you best believe I'm gonna point out all the shenanigans that I see. And I'm gonna simplify it for them. And anytime I was in these executive meetings, I would always use the KISS method, because these executives are white folks, right? And they love the military. So when I would use the KISS method, they're not gonna fight against that, because they know what it means. Keep it simple, stupid. And then I would present to them, hey, this is how we were doing things before. I believe we should be doing things this way here. And I would back up my theory with analytics, data, because they love that stuff. So I have to give them that to back it up, but I would simplify it, because I always think of the actual worker doing the job. I don't care about no executive or anything. I'm looking at the actual worker who does the job. So for the worker who does the job, I'm like, how can I make this a more seamless transition for this worker here? How can we make this individual's job easier? How can we make the job more efficient for them? I always go down to the lowest denominator. That's how my mind works. Because I'm like, if we can be successful at the lowest denominator, dude, we good. We good, Dread. So yeah, we shall continue. We're almost done.
Rather than spending more time making simple things complicated, they choose to keep complicated things simple.
Thank you.
Number 8. Chosen ones are empathetic. They demonstrate their good heart through their actions. Everyone can tell you kind and sweet things, but not everyone can show you love.
And what did I just say? That we need to do what? Show more love. I'm telling you, I'm like, yo, is this? Look who's calling me. Chevy's calling me. Girl, the universe loves you. I gotta let you know. I'm recording the pod. I gotta let you know I'm recording the pod. So you're on the pod right now. And I'm playing a video. Did you see the video I sent you?
No, I have not yet.
You have to watch that video I sent you. It's gonna, you remember, it's crazy because I love you, God, and I love the universe. Because as I'm talking on this pod, right, I'm playing the video I sent you. I'm playing the video I'm playing the video that I sent you on the pod. And the reason why I want you to watch it, because I remember when you and I was first talking, you had told me some things, how people was calling you crazy and nobody respected your thoughts. And I'm like, yo, if Chevy watches this video, all your questions, will be answered.
Nobody's answers are always answered. Questions are always questioned or answered. Makes no sense, Omar, but okay, I guess so the majority will give you a base foundation, but let's check it out.
You want to hear? I don't know if you can't hear it because I got my headsets on, but you can't hear it. It sucks. It sucks. What are you doing?
I just got out of work.
Oh, you just got out of work?
Yep. It's a big different stage.
How can I pause this? This is crazy. This is going. I'm not doing any editing. This is just going to go in raw, uncut, just like this. I want you to watch that video, Chevy. And I am actually going to call you back in about 10 minutes. Don't go to sleep, son. Because I want to talk to you, so don't go to sleep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, don't go to sleep. I want to talk to you. I'm learning so much about myself. Like that video I sent you, it'd explain to you why you are the way you are. It's a reason why you think the way you think. And I keep telling you, the way you think is normal, son. Like it's the people outside of us that don't understand. They don't understand us. And I understand you.
Like you, it's like a philosopher's mind. Not everyone's a philosopher.
Correct. Like this video that you're gonna watch is gonna give you goosebumps because you're gonna be like, oh, you remember your life path number? And I was describing it to you, and I was like, this is you. And you're like, oh my God, that is me. When you watch that video, you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna feel like this dude is talking to you. It resonated with me so much because I'm like, yo, dog, that's me. That is me. Like the part where it says I'm generous, I'm generous to a fault, right? Like I don't have money like that at all. But little things like when I go to get myself something to eat, you come to mind and I buy you food. He brings that up in this video. Like that's what I do because that's who I am. And I'm always like, why do people always feel weird when I do things like that? Because you're not the only one who feels like weirded out when I just do nice things. And I'm like, dog, I ain't trying to I don't want nothing. This is just how I'm built.
Humanity is not that nice.
I know, it perplexes my mind. Like, I don't understand it. Like, this is just who I am. Like, sidebar real quick. when I used to go out on dates, I'm a grown ass man. And this is who I am. I would pay for the dinner. These women would think like I wanted to get into their pants, and I'll be looking like, yo, what's up? Why do you women have this mindset? Like, why you think that? I'm the type of man. If I want to get inside of your pants, I'm gonna tell you I want to get in your pants. If we're going out on a date, it's a date. I'm gonna buy dinner. That's just who I am. So it just boggles my mind. I just find that stuff funny.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be like that. Like usually, the man usually takes the check. It's
Yes.
better that the guy or the man pays for the check instead of doing some second date update and talking about, oh, I already paid the check. Well, let's walk out the door, and then somebody comes back, gets stuck with like a triple whammy bill.
Yeah. Like, nah, son, that's not how I roll, man. And before I've always been spiritual, but before I started this spiritual path, like I would just do little things, that's just who I am. Like buying food, dog, it's food. If I have it, I got you. So if I don't have it, I say, hey, nigga, I ain't got it today. If I got it, I got you. It's food.
It's really nice. Not everybody was raised the same.
No, Chevy, but what I'm finding out is I'm doing certain things without realizing what I'm doing. And watching this video, I'm like, holy smokes. This whole time I was doing things and not really realizing, like, me being by myself. Like, I know it shocked you when I told you, like, I've been single for like 7 years. That was by design. I needed to be by myself because I'm like, man, why can I not find nobody who's on my page, who's on my level? So I had to figure out who I was.
It's not a bad thing.
And now I know who I am. Like, think about it, Chevy. Now that I know, now that I'm studying numerology and astrology, now I'm going to be moving to that vibration, because if I'm going to date somebody, it has to be somebody who I actually have a true connection with. Like, they either have to be on the same life path, or their life path have to be somehow associated with mine. I'm not going to date anybody that's not on my same frequency, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, you got a point there. It's going to be a lot of bumping heads.
Exactly. Think about it, Chevy. Today's your lucky day, right? Saturday. You didn't even know Saturday was your lucky day. And look, I was hooking you up with food, but you wasn't even real. You wasn't even real. It's your lucky day. So that's how the universe works. It's like, today is Chevy day. Boom, you get a plate of food. Out of the blue. Out of the blue. Random, boom, plate of food. I think one day, I brought you food just to surprise you. I didn't even tell you I was going to get you grub. But that time, I didn't even know Saturday was your lucky day. I didn't find that out until my roommate gave me that book. He gave me a book to read called, I told you, Astrology for Beginners, or Numerology and Astrology for Beginners. And that shit fucked my head up. It messed my head up. It explained everything to me, like why everything didn't work for me and why certain things. It explained everything.
It's not bad.
So yes, I'm gonna wrap up this pod. I finally got your ass on the pod. I finally got. Hey, for the folks out there who don't know, I've been trying to get Chevy on the pod for the longest, but she has a very busy life.
Technically, this is just like a surprise, like pop-up. It's not even a full broadcast. And like, what's up, my peoples? I'm on the pod. What's crack-a-lacking?
No, I explained to them that you live a busy life, and that I'm hoping that God takes some stuff off your plate to give you a little bit of time, so you can be a guest host every now and then. And yeah, but I know you're busy and stuff. And I was talking about you tonight on the pod too. I'm like, yo, Chevy's been so happy. Like, seeing you so happy makes me happy. Like, seeing you glow, seeing you smile. I'm like, oh man, she's basking in great energy.
Yeah, you have to give it a shot.
I love it.
Always try, even if it's just, a temporary like shield. Whatever you want to call it. It's not gonna work. Gotta let it out there.
No, I told you today, man, the universe loves you, man. Like, the universe loves you. Greater.
Like, they don't have ups and downs, but we got to embrace the little things. So
there you go. And greater things are gonna come to you, man. Since you're vibrating on a higher frequency, like I told you, you're gonna start noticing little changes, how people talk to you, how they react to you. You're gonna, because I notice it. Trust me, I notice it. So you're gonna notice it, especially when you do your little sage thing. You're gonna notice it.
Yeah, I think that sage is well needed. So thank you.
But guess what, Chevy, right? Because you're a spiritual person, you're going to do the same thing for somebody else. Because remember, you and I talked, and I was like, Chevy, we can change what? One human soul at a time. And that's what we have to do. And on this pod, before you call, I'm like, dude, we need to get back into loving each other once again. I'm like, I had to explain to myself, not in love, but loving another human. We don't love each other, man. That's why we always fighting and arguing. We're not talking. There's no love. And I love all humans.
Love's a powerful word. It's not just loving. It's kind of embracing one another.
Yes.
Embracing what one can do, what another can't.
Yes.
Or what one has that another doesn't have. But yeah, love's very, very strong. So I wouldn't use that word. But yeah, there has to be embracing in the world.
Well, I tell you, I love you all the time.
Yeah, love's out there, reciprocated. So you say that to any average person, I love you.
I'm dying, son. Oh my God.
I only love my pillow. I pillow my bed and my mama. Not to mention the tub of ice cream.
Now y'all know why I love Chevy. I talk about her all the time, and now y'all know why I love Chevy, son. Like, me and her just vibrates. This is what we do. We just chit chat, talk it up. But we want to talk about other things, but I want to wrap up this pod. So Chevy, I'm going to call you. I have about he's on number 8. So just 2 more. I'm going to do some commentary on the other 2 and then wrap up the pod and call you back.
That's all right. Enjoy your time with your audience. Take it easy.
Oh, like my 5 people that's listening?
Say that again?
The 5 people that's listening along with God.
It all starts like that. The 5 turns to 50, turns to 500, 5,000, 500,000.
Amen.
So look up.
Amen. Hey, I'm not doing the pod for the numbers. I'm doing the pod because this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I love to talk.
5 people better than 2. Somewhere.
And I'm trying to start a business, and I want this pod to take. Catch you later. You catch me in 10, 15 minutes because I have 2 more things to discuss, and then I'm going to give you a call while it uploads. But
right,
say bye, Chevy.
See ya.
Bye. See, that was Chevy, y'all. Raw and uncut. And I ain't cutting that out. So we're going to leave that in. That was Chevy, y'all. For those who wanted to know who Chevy was, that was Chevy.
And when I say love, I'm talking about giving you their time, being considerate to your needs, respecting your feelings, being affectionate, and making small gestures that show they love you. Example, by helping someone out when they're sick, or make sure you arrive home safe. Or holding your hand when you're going through a tough time, or buying you things you love. These are great qualities of the star seeds, the chosen ones. Number 9. Chosen ones love to keep things as simple as possible. That is, they choose simplicity over complication. As a chosen one, you don't want to involve yourself in complicated rules, regulations, and norms that brings us to nowhere. Chosen ones are naturally kind people. They prefer rendering their assignment or works in a well-defined and simple manner.
Yo, that is me to a T. So you guys have no idea. I did voice some concerns at the JP with certain things that I saw. Because remember now, I've been in the healthcare industry for 20 years, and I'm just not coming to this new industry, totally different from healthcare. And man, your boy was finding so many loopholes. I'm like, yo, Dread, we need to tighten this up, Star. We need to tighten this up, Dread, we need to tighten this up. And slowly but surely, I'm starting to see some of the concerns that I had. I'm starting to see them be addressed. So yeah, this dude is describing me to a T. It's bugging my mind out. I love it.
They already know how hard it could be to understand complicated projects or ideas, which makes them spend a lot of time breaking complex things down into simple pieces with their deeper understanding. You are chosen to make this world a more easier and happier place to live. You are born to be great. Albert Einstein once said that, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Those are bars, ladies and gentlemen. Bars, son. Albert Einstein is dropping bars, Dread.
It's easy to sound smart. Many people have a lot of great knowledge about things. They know a lot of facts and figures. However, when faced with simple questions, it gets overly complicated. They will start to tell you things like, "Oh, I will check it out again. Oh, it just depends. Oh, I think you may not understand." They do this because they lack deeper, core understanding of those topics. It can be astrology, history, or anything else. If you understand something, then go straight to the point. According to Leonardo da Vinci, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Because of this, chosen ones don't spend time showing how spiritually woke they are, or how sophisticated and well-developed their minds are. They don't like unnecessary complex ideologies and theories just to make people know they are chosen to make the world a better place. For them, what matters is whether the information is necessary for the other person or not. They love easy life as well and keep things simple. And they are here to make this beautiful change in this timeline. Number 10. Chosen ones can be quick-witted and funny as well. They love to make jokes with many things, because they believe that the only thing that matters is how much love we spread as spiritual being having human experience. This kind of people possess a very deep sense of humor which other people might find hard to figure out. Do you make some critical, philosophical, or even diplomatic fun out of little events and situations, which most people don't understand?
That is me to a T. What did I start this podcast on about this stupid cancel culture and about the alphabet community going against Dave Chappelle? I'm like, that is so stupid. He's a comedian. And he's not saying anything that's offensive. He's trying to have a discussion because there's a larger point he was trying to make because of his friend Daphne. And everybody just got lost in that and just got into their feelings that they hurt. Take emotions out of it. Dude is a comedian. And he was trying to have a conversation. So this what he's talking about? Yeah, I can make fun of things that I find to be silly. Like, why are you mad about that? Dread, I'm a Blackanese dude. When I was young, I was overweight. I had a chick's ass. Niggas used to always tease me. I had a big ass head. I ain't care. I got my roasting. Because then I started to grow into my body. And all that nonsense they used to tease me, I was gone because girls started loving it, dude, because I'm Blackanese. So yes, what he's describing of, yes, I can make jokes out of something that's deep, political, the comedy stuff, sports. Yeah, I can find humor in everything, man. Because I believe laughter is good for the soul. But we shall continue.
Do you see everything as a sign that the universe is communicating with you? You might as well be having fun with astrology, numerology, and angel numbers. You are actually an old soul who truly understands the concept of human existence and the universe in a whole.
I'm an old soul. If you listen to this podcast, what I've been preaching this whole time, I'm an old soul. And you know what's crazy? My son was the one that put that bug in my ear because of how I think and my mindset, how I speak. My son looked at me and was like, wow, Dad, you're an old soul. And at the time, it never clicked. It didn't register in my head. But when he said that, I was like, wow, look at that. My son didn't even know. God was using him as a vessel to tell me, my spirit, you're an old soul. I'm an old soul. That's why I'm glad to know. I'm finally glad that I know who I am. I'm an old soul. So everything he talked about made sense to me. It resonated with me.
Chosen ones are a happy set of people despite their deep sense of perception. Though they go through very hard times in life, despite that, they are fun to be around with. Highly awakened people are quick-witted, but sometimes not the easygoing people. They have internally sophisticated sense of humor which they leave most times unexpressed. Also, humor does not come at the expense of others. A person's brand of humor says a lot about that individual. Is it mean-spirited? A good-hearted person has a sense of humor that lifts others up and doesn't tear them down. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope.
And I'm going to end it there. Like, now you know who I am. Now you know why I'm on this particular path, why I'm on this spiritual journey, this spiritual awakening, so to speak. You finally get to figure out and understand who your boy is. This is who I've always been my whole life. This is not something that happened overnight. This is who I've been my whole life. But because I was surrounded by buffoonery and I let certain people enter my life, I got lost. I'm 46 years old. For many, 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 many years, I got lost. But God has always kept me. He always held me down. All those years when I was searching for some type of religion to connect to, didn't work. And I started questioning, like, damn, I love God, but why is none of these religions speaking to me? Like, I would say certain things in my relationship with these women, because this is where like my spirit was coming out and they would just instantly just shot it down. Especially my ex-wife. Like, she is not a spiritual or a religious person at all. So having all of this stuff around me, like the one, I want to say where things started to change for me is when I met Mrs. G, right? When I met Mrs. G, that's when, because she was the one, like she's a conservative Christian, but she was the one that was putting things into my ear. Like she was the one that kind of was waking me up spiritually. And when me and her broke up, we broke up because I didn't want to marry her, right? And she was like, nigga, I'm trying to build a future. And if you and I are not going to be together, this is a waste of time. Goodbye. But what I realized was she was in my life for a particular reason. I think I mentioned this before. She was there to save my life, because she literally did. And she was there to build me back as a man. So she fulfilled God's purpose. And then this whole time, God made sure, I'm telling y'all, God made sure I was alone. He's like, I have something planned for you, but you can't do what I need for you to do until you get your head right. And this whole time, I wasn't getting my head right. I was just getting fat. Working from home coding, nigga, I was not getting my head right. I was not into anything spiritual. I was just getting fat and just lazy and unmotivated, letting my health just go down the tubes, like all types of shenanigans. But again, God has a plan. 2019, everything came to a boiling point. Is when I had that talk with that doctor. And that doctor told me I had to make a life change because the coding job was literally killing me. Let that rest on you for a little bit. Let that sit on you. That coding job, where I was making really good money, that coding job was killing your boy. Literally. The doctor who I hated could not stand, but for some reason I never got rid of her because that's how God worked. Because he knows all and sees all. Everything was already written. That doctor told me, change my life. That's when I called my mom. My mother don't like to tell me how to live my life, but that was the first time my mother said, yo, you have to do what you have to do to make you happy. That's all I needed to hear. And I was like, I think I was just scared because I was been there for so long. I was comfortable. I was scared. I was like, you know what? F this job. My life is more important. I quit. And then I, took time off for myself again. Led me to this point where I'm at right now, man. And I'm so grateful. I'm going to end the pod here because Chevy's waiting for me to call her. And, her and I on the same frequency. We vibe together. So I'm going to call her. I'm going to wrap up the pod now. And chosen ones, star family, I see you. I see you. And more of us that are spiritually conscious, we need to have our voices out there. So, yeah, this is what, episode 9, season 1. I think I'm going to call this podcast The Chosen Ones. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the pod. You done know. Shout out to Belmont Vegetarian. Shout out to my man Elliot Ness. Shit. Shout out to Chevy. Shout out to Lash. Shout out to Little Bully. Shout out to my peoples in Brooklyn. Shout out to my man Taheem. I see you, Star Family. I'm gonna have you on this pod, my brother, because you and I need to link up. So we're on the same vibration. Your vibration is probably a little bit higher than mine because I be seeing the shit you be posting. I'm like, damn, I need to look into that. But I need to bring you on the pod, brethren. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode. Our thoughts, not yours. You don't know. I want you to have a blessed day, a blessed life, and always remember, God loves you. One.